Hello everybody and welcome to the Ditton Works YouTube channel, where today I'm going to talk about Spendors. Now, I've spoken about Spendors before. I've had here a pair of SP2s, the original Mark 1. I have a pair of SP2-2s, the Mark 2, which I did a video on some months ago about undoing the hardening of the surrounds, which sometimes occurs on Spendor speakers. So when I had the opportunity to get my hands on a pair of SP23E, which is the Mark III enhanced version, I thought, why not? I'll have a go, see what they sound like. And I was going to do a video comparing the SP22 directly to the SP23E. Unfortunately, when these came to me, they also had rock hard surrounds and worse still, pushed in, damaged and one fried tweeter. This left me with a problem. I can't do a direct comparison. So me being me, I needed to fix these because I don't want a dead pair of speakers laying around. So set about sorting out the surrounds, and I used my brake fluid technique, which I did a video on, you can find on my YouTube channel. Then the issue with the tweeters. Now, the original tweeters in both pairs, the SP22 and these SP23Es, have the ScanSpec tweeter. The only difference on the later one is it has a different face covering with Spendor written across the front of it to indicate that it's a Spendor tuned unit. I could have got my hands on another pair of those, but I decided to do something different. So I fitted the SIAZ, much newer version that you would find in the newer SP23R2s and the SP23 Classics and some of the other Spendor speakers, to name a few. There are quite a lot of other manufacturers that use this SIAZ tweeter. So I thought, why not? Let's put it in and see how they sound. That obviously puts me in a position where I can't really do a direct A-B comparison. It's not fair. These are no longer Spendor SP23Es, really. They're my own SP23Es. And I'm not going to do an A-B comparison. You can take it from me that I have listened to both, and my SP22s have been my stable daily driver speakers for some months now, and I absolutely love them. The thing with Spendor is there's, for me anyway, this real deep romantic connection to these wonderful speakers. Not only have you got the BBC heritage behind them, you've got Spencer Hughes, the man who worked for the BBC, the man who made a Beckstring cone in his spare time using a bedpost and an electric heater to shape it. You've got all of that deep, rich heritage, but you've also got the fact that Spendors are the type of speaker that really open the door into the music room. It's a little bit like they say the eyes are the route to the soul. Well, these are a route to the ears, to the heart. They absolutely, I love listening to Spendors. So let's have a proper listen to these and we'll see if my improvements or modifications have made them better. So just before we have a listen to these, we'll just go a little bit further in depth of the differences. So firstly, the SP23 is a much larger cabinet than its predecessor. It's not only deeper, it's taller. Other things they've done is centralised and enlarged the port, and there are quite a lot of differences between these two bass drivers. So if we go back to the SP2, that has 5 mounting screws, same sort of cone, no dust dome, and you can see through to the pole piece and it's flat. When you come to the SP2-2, you've got a driver that looks much like this, dust cap, and it's got more screws holding it in, so it's giving it a better, tighter, rigid fit to the baffle. On these ones, through the dust dome, you can see that there's a hole in the pole piece, and I think this is part of that enhanced, the E part of these speakers. When I removed the bass drivers, they've also, although the chassis is the same, it's got a double magnet structure on the back, so improved power handling, lots of differences there. So I think Derek's idea with these was to enlarge the cabinet, enlarge the port, and tune the bass driver up to give them a little bit more LF, a little bit more bass. These are the original tweeters. You can see Spendor written on there. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but they are very crinkled and creased, so dispersion and breakup modes are all gone out the window on those. These here are the new SIAZ tweeters, and they're really interesting design. The actual dome is very small, it's about the same size as this one, but it's got this huge surround on here, and this is a technical bulletin on these that anybody can read up about. but I think they've got quite an interesting dispersion pattern, and when they're fitted in these, I've certainly noticed that these speakers now have really good imaging, and probably better than the original ones. And that's not me just being biased, that's an honest review sort of report on this, because this tweeter is used on many other speakers. It's kind of disguised on some of them because it has a little covering over there, but it is the same tweeter, albeit possibly tuned or modified for the would-be designer's requirements. So bigger port, more powerful bass driver, and in this case a new tweeter. So let's move and we'll have a listen, see how these sound. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the little sound clip there. I have got another little surprise sound clip that I'm going to put at the end because one of my subscribers recommended an artist to me and I've been listening to them constantly for about a week. In conclusion, the SP2 are another phenomenal pair of Spendor speakers. They offer a little bit more depth of bass and they're a little bit more dynamic than my SP2s. I wish I had an absolutely original pair to do an A-B comparison. I'm afraid they were just too tired and had a very hard life, I suspect. And the little modifications I've done, I'm not going to say make them sound better, that's quite presumptuous of me to say that, but they've certainly brought them back to life and they're very pleasing and they're not fatiguing in any way, so I'm quite happy with how they sound now. If I was to try and speculate what the comparisons would be, I reckon the SP2 is just a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more low end, and possibly a bigger sound stage from that larger cabinet. So I don't feel I'm missing any LF from these ones here. I absolutely love these, I really do. These are a phenomenal sounding pair of speakers. You can just listen to them for hours and hours and hours. Typical Spendor. Okay guys, that's the Ditton Works review for today. I'll leave you with a little sound bite from one of my subscribers' suggestions and I'll catch up with you later. I'm actually going to play this track because it was requested.